The Observer, Paul, with our first story this evening. Familiar from previous Saturdays, I'm afraid. Thousands marching in our capital yet again.
Yes, The Observer. Thousands of pro-Palestinian protesters march in London. So there were a whole bunch of things going on today. There were 6 arrests made. There were 3 people arrested on suspicion of showing support for a prescribed organisation, by which they mean terrorist group, which is an offence under the Terrorism Act, while 2 arrests were made for offensive placards. Now, in the grand scheme of things, that's not a lot of numbers. No. But it is Saturday, which means it's protest day, and I, for one, support their right to waste as much of their time as they like. I don't think they're actually achieving anything at the moment. I know that sounds very sort of cynical, and I do support their right to protest, but I can't see anything being achieved other than a massive fuss.
Well, they're exhausting police budgets. That might come in handy one day.
And don't let anyone, by the way, tell you that this country isn't free, because hundreds of thousands of people can march on our capital city every weekend in support of people that would quite happily have every one of them killed. And I don't mean that lightly, because, you know, if you look at Hamas just in isolation, their doctrine is to wipe us out. The West, the Jews, whoever, gone.
They would say, most of these people, that they don't support Hamas, that they simply want there to be a ceasefire in Israel to stop killing innocent civilians.
I agree.
But then again, there are others who say that that can only be achieved by destroying Israel.
I think there's a sort of willful ignorance again involved in some of this, where, of course, we understand, you know, children, women in Palestine being killed, really bad stuff, OK? They did vote in Hamas, and Hamas did start the war. So to protest it and make out that Israel are entirely to blame is very disingenuous.
And some people did that, like, late evening on October the 7th, didn't they? Do you ever... You've had to speak on this on countless occasions, have you?
Yeah, because, I mean, I kind of agree with Paul, but we don't know what could happen for them. I mean, it seems like they're wasting their time, but they're not. On one hand, I could say that they're not helping their cause, because every single day goes on, people realize that I feel for the Palestinians, because they don't have support. They're not loved or liked. But, I mean, I have Palestinian
friends. And you mean by the people in that area of the world?
By their own neighbours, by the Egyptians, the Saudis.
Exactly. They're loved by students, they're loved by left-wing protesters all around the world, but nobody with power and nobody close by. Yeah.
As a nation. But Palestinians, many of them, I have a very good Palestinian friend, or I did, and they're good people, but you feel for them.
Yeah, I mean, they've got some little catchy ditties, haven't they? Yemen, Yemen, make us proud, turn another ship around. Now, you know, it's catchy, but the idea that we should be supporting the Houthi rebels is beyond me. I can't see what value that is. They associate the Houthis with supporting Hamas against Israel, or Palestine against Israel, i.e. against Israel. However, they're a terrorist group, not prescribed in this country yet, but I'm sure they will be soon. And they're just a proxy for Iran. And
there's plenty of other... There was a guy speaking who was filmed and shared on Twitter saying that we need to normalise massacres. And that was like with a microphone, and nobody intervened at that point.